Hey friends living in the insane world, it's November 14th, dystopia warning, obviously. We're witnessing the collapse of literally everything. So on this program from the Doom Wizard, I'll provide world events, ecology, economy, and us witnessing the collapse together. As a new phase, winter, and abrupt and irreversible climate change. The media is just now catching up, brought to our attention by Nature Bats Lass, with excellent programming from him and other scholars, giving the raw data on what's happening. Other producers in this space I admire greatly, not to which include also recently a lengthy publish from Dr. Peter Carter, giving his November 2024 climate future outlook, excellent data, along with COP29, which we shall not talk about. You know how I feel.
Azerbaijan, the very name means keeper of the fire, and flames emblazon the capital skyline by night. A light show homage to oil and gas. And there on stage, Albania's leader saying he'd torn up his speech, appalled by climate inaction.
Our speech is full of good words about fighting climate change, nothing.
The big polluters have other interests, and while the world is going down, there is more and more appetite for power and greed for whatever comes with power and for dominance.
More than 60,000 delegates, yes. Colour, culture, endearing eccentricity. As diplomats here try to cut that global green finance deal away from here, business is already delivering. It was announced here today that green transition is now worth $5 trillion annually. It's doubled in 5 years.
I applaud Mr. Beckwith for being there and discussing all these grand ideas with all that carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, or the room, causing people to be delirious and, oh yeah, that seems like a good idea, yeah. Play some music, because they work, because greenhouse gas emissions have been reduced and the world is fast on a track towards green energy. Except that's not the case, because we just elected a fascist dictator to govern essentially world policy, even though the U.S. only amounts for about 13% of emissions. I'm sure you're aware of his cabinet picks thus far, which are to include a Fox News host, Kristi Noem, who's a climate denier and dog killer. The list goes on, Tulsi Gabbard, etc., etc. Wouldn't be surprised if Rogan gets on board somewhere, because Musk is over there weirding him out, literally is the guest that doesn't leave the White House. Like I said, this is a smorgasbord of news, world events. We're essentially in proxy wars overseas with multiple countries. Iran's going to make a move any moment, but China is selling jets to Russia, and we're providing more arms to Ukraine. Putin giving Trump a big middle finger and continuing his conquest over there. Back in January, North Korea lifted peaceful sanctions with South Korea. I just have to get this stuff out the way because these are precursors, in addition to Iran, to black swan events or major world wars breaking out, although it's uncommon in human history for massive wars to break out like World War I and World War II, where World War II was something of an anomaly, being a crazed madman decided it was his struggle to inflict pain on others. Literally, I've been around that book. I saw it in person. I'm not bragging. So I've had longtime subscribers who know that I like to get over 50 likes, so let's address that. Go ahead and move your thumb. I film here because it's the quietest and closest to my upload. I live off grid, you know that. The past 365 days running mean has been 1.62 degrees Celsius, global average temperature, fast approaching 2 degrees Celsius. So what I want you to do is to go to a mirror, look directly in it, and ask yourself if you want to live in a 2-degree world. Think hard about that. Some people are. Again, a shout out to Andrea P's latest video, Post Doom, who does a much better job of breaking down how to process this information and how to go on living your life. Because that's what's most important. Live now. We live in a free country, right? We had two choices. Back to politics.
You got the highest score in history.
Even smarter than President Camacho.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of America!
In the year 2505.
That were forced on us. No wonder people didn't go out and vote. She just came out of nowhere. You know? It's an illusion of democracy, but we are the most spied on, surveillanced, in that sense, propagandized, delusional culture on the planet, next to communism. Neither one is good. We couldn't figure it out, how to manage 8 billion people safely. Because we're an overshoot, a predicament. Climate Adam, Dr. Gibbs. Just be real with yourself, okay? Renewable energy is a myth. I don't need to tell you this. I don't need to educate you this. It doesn't take that long to realize that civilization is the root problem. It's a heat engine, which is unstoppable in its nature. So, I'm thinking about going to the library and signing up for the New York Preparedness Corps, planning for natural disasters because, well, they're happening all over the world. You could do a world tour right now, including, most notably, floods and severe rainstorms being a major indicator of climate change, from most recently Valencia, Spain, South Africa, East Asia. The list goes on. Here in America, we've had a 500-mile wide hurricane strike us this year, flooding in Texas, unprecedented. And we have climate deniers in the highest level of office and courts. Are humans too stupid for democracy? That's an interesting question. Perhaps deserves its own entirely separate video. So I don't mind if you watch this one at 1.25 times. That's what I do to most content on this platform. I enjoy vlogs. China Mac is my guilty pleasure. Dude is completely fucking clueless about environmental crises, but his energy is entertaining, okay? I've already mentioned a few others in this space, and I can't forget Dr. Peter Carter's latest November 2024, for redundancy, climate outlook. He provides all the data, his impressions, and just realism, you know, with the fact that we haven't made jack shit progress, and the amount of people who still care about this subject or even have their eyes open, especially here in America, is like, I would argue, this many people. 0.0001%. We cannot see out of the tunnel vision of the culture that we've been indoctrinated in, the system and framework to which we pursue living our lives. You'd have to drop LSD in the water supply to change everyone's framework, have a spiritual awake something. I don't even know. It doesn't even matter. It's hopeless. What has already been said has been said, but I'm saying it again. Being right too soon is socially unacceptable. So here I am, off grid, away from most civilization. I have a part-time job. I participate in society. I'm registered and licensed now. Wasn't cheap though. Even to move off grid to a new state, it costed me like probably $600 or $700 to get my license, premium insurance, registry, then I had to get a new alternator and battery, firewood, insurance, ice. If the average person could just get the noose off their neck break the chain and get off grid, then they would. Most people would. If you're living in a city now, you are most likely depressed, drinking on the weekends, and wishing you lived somewhere else. Do you think $13 an hour can provide a good quality of life? Think again. Like I said, democracy is a myth. You and I are here with our eyes open, wherever you are, watching the world burn. And I appreciate you still being here without keeping this too long. I know every day is going to feel like turning on the news and watching some circus clown show. Are you just tired of it all? Are you tired of it all? It's okay, I'm losing weight. I had to buy new pants, getting skinnier. Buckling my belt, bracing for impact. Hope is wishing for something to happen. That's the definition. So thanks for tuning in. Much more to come. No one can predict what will happen next on the world theater, but what's for certain is that Earth is in the midst of abrupt and irreversible climate change. I should repeat again. I'll talk to you doomers soon. See ya.